Sancho to score. No mistakes this time.
That is a rocket.
Royce and another fantastic goal by Marco Royce. Haaland's volley is beautiful beyond compare.
Jetzt kommt das Wunder von Dortmund. Foulspiel von Inzo an Götze.
Needs to lay it off. We're going to shot away. Oh, what a goal!
Welcome back to Dortmund Dispatch. I'm your host, Eli. I'm joined today by Ali, but first we just wanted to ask you really quickly if you could rate us on Spotify or like and subscribe on our YouTube. We don't ask this, I think this is the first time we've done this at the start of the show, but we really appreciate it, and that support would mean a lot to us. But Ali, how was your weekend?
It's been good. I was working yesterday. I had a gig, a lot of editing. Today, actually, so before we get into the mess that was this week, today I took my nephew to get a haircut. I'm like, yo, what haircut do you want? He looks at me and he says, I want the Cristiano Ronaldo haircut. And I had a gut reaction. No, we don't do that. And I'm like, no. And then I was like, okay, no, it's fine. Yeah, whatever haircut you want, man. Whatever haircut you want.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Nephew doesn't know ball. How old is he?
He's 5. And I bought him a Messi jersey last year, so betrayal is real. But
how does he even know who Cristiano Ronaldo is? Cristiano Ronaldo hasn't been good his entire life.
Exactly. I don't understand either. But I accepted it, and I was like, no problem, buddy. We can get the haircut. But this summer I'll be buying him a Brazil jersey, even though he asked for Portugal. And I'm like, no. I couldn't get that one. I got you this one instead, Neymar. But I'm good, man. Everything's good.
I still can't get over it. That kid's 5 years old and he likes Ronaldo, and Ronaldo hasn't scored a free kick. How many free kick goals does Ronaldo have in this kid's lifetime?
0. No, 0.
Against a semi-pro keeper?
0. I don't remember the last free kick he scored.
I thought he scored 1 in Saudi Arabia. From 600 shots,
yeah,
1 Ronaldo goal. But let's talk about the match versus Augsburg. And so 1 shot on target, 1 goal for Augsburg. That's all I'm going to be talking about in this match, because that's all I have to say about it. Augsburg's game plan was to try and steal a goal early, hold on to their lead for dear life, because Niko Kovac's ball is very counterattacking heavy. They had 0 post-shot XG despite their 1 shot on target. But, when your goalie can't jump, that sometimes that shot can go in, I guess. And basically that allows Augsburg to play the game they wanted. And to me, that was what happened here. Is we didn't even have a defensive lapse. Our goalie just failed to make a very simple, easy save.
Yeah, it was so odd watching it go in, because clearly the play was to hit the back post, and I guess Kobo was anticipating that, but it just kept going over him, and I feel like there was a moment where he looked at it and he was like, oh, damn, this is dropping over me. But also I felt like the header was way too free, and other aspects of the game were so bad. We were so slow in the build up. We were not really trying. It was a tough watch. It was a very, very tough watch. We did have a disallowed goal, rightfully so. It was disallowed. It was offside. But yeah, man, let's just get into it. I know you said 1 shot on target, by the glorious Marius Wolf, right? Amazing delivery from the guy. What an assist. But yeah, man.
Yeah, a great hour from Marius Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of called it. I think he would have had the assist on the second had it counted, or anyway, but the same thing, we can talk about why that guy's free. That guy's free because if he shoots, it should be saved 100% of the time. When you're paying $8 million a year to your goalie, that shot should get saved every single time, because it's from an impossible angle. It's a looping ball in to the back post. It's not you can hit a ball that far around everyone and not have it be higher because it has to get over the other like how many ever it would be like the other 15 players are in the box, so the ball has to loop over them. So you're not getting a ton of power on it. It has to be either a second ball into the area where you should then have all your players marking guys. And so like it was Garasi typically on the second one that got left 2v1. The second one gets disallowed because a guy who's offside sets a screen. You're not allowed to set a screen, so that's illegal. He's offsides, that's illegal. Uh, and then like that's how they get the 2v1 for the one that gets disallowed. But on the first one, it's kind of 2v0. And like I understand that whoever the set piece coach is doing a ton of analysis, and I guess like their analysis came up with like if they're gonna hit it out there, like maybe Augsburg doesn't typically do that. Maybe like when they do it, it's that terrible looping header that your goalie should save all the time, but like your goalie should just save that 100% of the time, and then it's not an issue. I don't know. So then let's analyze what happened after that a little bit. Why do you think Dortmund struggled to create any chances in this match?
So we briefly touched on something that I didn't want to get your opinion on, which is our lack of risk taking in terms of our passes, right? Because every time we play a back five, right, it's either a high line or they sit in behind. Now we played a similar formation against was it? Yeah, Stuttgart, and we saw success when we were playing Adeyemi in behind, right? Whether it was 1-2s, whether it was ball over the top, he's fast. He's like he will get free. You just need to play that ball into space, and we didn't do that enough this game. Another thing is everything was just way too slow and too what's the word I'm looking for? Like there was no rhythm of play. It was just side to side, going back, and there was no
Lethargic.
Yeah, it was a tough watch.
Boring.
Go for it. Another one.
No. I'm not. What am I, a thesaurus? But yeah. So like, there's multiple reasons why it's difficult to get Karim Adeyemi the ball. So like, let's look at the players who are on the right side of the pitch. It's Salih Özcan, it's Emre Can, it's Jan Koto, and honestly, every Borussia Dortmund fan at this point is having a heart attack, is like increasing their blood pressure if they see the ball on the left foot. A lot of fans may not like be logically thinking, "Oh, the ball's on his left foot. I have to panic," but they've all watched these players so much that they innately know, even if they're not conscious of it, that none of these players have a left foot. And what that essentially means is they're a lot easier to defend. If you show them in field, they will probably run in field or they'll just pass back. And it allows you to like lay off Emre Can, and he'll just pass back. So like if the ball goes onto the right wing and Emre Can receives it, he's going to pass it back. And in that case, Karim Adeyemi isn't going to be able to run at the player because the defense is already set up for the ball being on the right side of the pitch. And all these players are struggling to like pass back and play the switch, which leads to like some Jamie Gittins issues and just general like build-up issues. And also why like typically when you see a team concede so early, when it's a big team and they're playing against a much worse team in the second half, pretty early on you'll start to see Augsburg or whatever side it is, kind of run out of energy. Like their midfield will burn out a little bit, but you didn't really see a ton of that. Like the subs came at the 74th minute for some of those midfielders, which is like 15-20 minutes after they should be running out of running out of gas, excuse me, because they conceded in the 23rd minute. But you're just not seeing that ball continuously go back and forth from side to side to tire their legs out. And like Jan Koto specifically, he had opportunities to play that pass out to Karim Adeyemi in a ton of space when he cut in 2 or 3 times. And these are like the 2 or 3 times where we could have gotten Kareem Adeyemi with a 1v1 instead of having him try and go like 3v1. And Jan Koto, because he doesn't have a left foot and he's cutting inside, his right foot is facing like the left side of the field essentially. And so for him to play the pass out wide to the right, he has to either use the outside of his right foot or use the left foot that he does not have. And so that's essentially like a big issue. Because otherwise he has to completely turn, reveal the ball to show the ball to the defender
Yeah,
and try and play the pass with his right foot
exactly.
to hit it with his instep. But you can't do that
Yeah,
because you're showing the ball to the defender, and if he wins
exactly. Yeah.
it, then they're breaking 3v3 essentially every time. So you can't do that, and that really restricts your build-up.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ways you could get around that is having Jan Koto dump it off to Sally Ozchan or Emre Can, but because they only have one foot, they have to receive the ball in a much safer way and a much more predictable way, and that allows you to not give them that right wing as
Mm-hmm.
access to the right wing as easily, because if like Salios can open up onto his left foot, he could very easily just touch it into space in the midfield and hit a ball out to the right wing. But he can't do that, and Emre Can can't do that, and we don't have any other attackers that are especially interesting, fun, talented. Like anyway, about there's a ton of ways I could talk about it. There's another player I want to talk about who hurt our creativity in this game, but that'll be a little bit later because I want you to talk a little bit more about some of the build-up issues you saw.
Well, so the issues have been consistent for weeks now, which and we always say, and you touched on it just now, which is midfield. There's not enough pace. There's not enough tempo setting. We see a lot of passes in between Chan and Schlotterbeck. Schlotterbeck is looking for an incisive through ball from where he is all the way into Seru Guirassy or to JG. And I'm like, yo, where is Gross? Why isn't Brandt showing? Even Ben Sebaini should be able to offload some of that pressure, and it's just a lack of presence in the midfield. Now we did obviously have Ozcan starting. I know that you want to touch on that potentially, and it was just a bit different. I don't want to say better or worse. It was just different, right? But
Mm-hmm.
we're still lacking the thing that we've talked about. We don't have distributors, guys that just want to play the ball, in behind, in between the lines, set the tempo, be very predictable, but it's predictable for us, difficult to deal with for our opponents. And we just don't have that. That's been the big thing, even against Lille. It's the same nonsense, right? We're hoping for counterattacks to save us, but when we have to set up and actually play, we can't. So it's tough.
Yeah. We have a couple counterattacks and like they kind of go to waste, and I'll talk a little bit more critically about that in a second. But it's essentially just what you said, where like Ozcan defensively is so much better than Sabitzer, and our midfield has essentially like no passers. So our midfield has to play in this combative way. You can't play through your midfield, and Kovac has come up with a good way to get past that. And then you have to get passing from elsewhere. And last season, that was through Mats Hummels and Nico Schlotterbeck. This season, it's through Nico Schlotterbeck, and that's it. That's literally it. And that's kind of the issue in this match. Once we go down, because that allows them to sit deeper. It allows them to not have to come out of their shell at all to play this match. So, like, yes, Ozcan's doing much better than Sabitzer at winning the ball back. You lose a little bit of goal threat in that, like, eventually one of these Sabitzer shots from 25,000 yards will go in. Like, that shouldn't happen over the course of a season. Like, he's going to play 3,000 minutes. He shoots like 3 times a game. It's all from like way out. But like, he's probably going to get 1 or 2 goals this year eventually, one would hope. But essentially, like, Ozchen's not going to have any creativity. Pascal Gross, you're hoping, has some creativity, but on set pieces this year, he's just completely like lost it. I don't know if that's our set piece coach. Um, I just don't know where it's gone because this is something he's done his whole career.
Mhm.
But no Ryerson, you need Gross to take better set pieces because how many corners did we have in the first half? And I don't think we got more than a shot off one.
I don't even remember one.
We got one shot off in the second. I remember that. It was from like way out. Not a particularly good chance. I think it was Sean, I think, got it.
But
But it
yo,
looked more like a clearance.
but okay, so
Oh, the Schlotterbeck, excuse me, had a headed shot, but that wasn't until the 50th minute.
okay, but yo, 14 shots total, 7 off target, 6 blocked, 1 on target.
For Dortmund, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's
Oh my
kind of what
God.
happens when your corners are terrible. Uh, like Bayer, I guess, misjudged the flight of a ball that
Hmm.
probably would have been saved anyway. Um,
Man,
Garassi was close to getting on the end of a good chance, but like we're just it's crossing inshallah football
I
for a lot of
swear.
this match because thank you. Yeah, I speak fluent Arabic, all of 3 words.
Yeah, appreciate it,
Uh,
man. It's
no
Ramadan, so it's
problem.
perfect.
Yeah. Happy Ramadan to all those who celebrate, but unhappy to watch Borussia Dortmund because this is just like how like okay, so we're sending in crosses. They're essentially playing. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Everyone laughs when I say my poor attempt, but it's like Gollywoo or whatever.
I
Is
don't even
one of
know.
their midfielders,
Yeah.
and he's just like a guy who is 6'4" and gets put on a football pitch. He's not necessarily like a football player,
Hmm.
and like
It's
that's
tough.
kind of like they're very happy with the type of chances we're creating, and like you're seeing a couple times, it's Kareem Adeyemi cutting in off the right wing, Kareem Adeyemi cutting inside, looking to combine. Like Julian Brandt is actually receiving the ball in good areas, but at a certain point, you have to do a little bit more
Yeah.
with that.
It's like,
Um,
hey, man, great job, you received it.
yeah, this
Where's the end
second
game?
second team high for progressive passes received, 0 expected assisted goals. Um, so like he's
What'd you think
getting
of?
on the ball, he's
Hmm.
occupying space, but he needs to create a chance at some point. Um, Still better numbers than Gio Reyna, so like I don't know. At a certain point, like maybe Chuck Womenka exists, but this is a guy who doesn't have 2,000 senior minutes in league minutes, I should say.
Hmm.
So is he real? Because right now it's like we have a bunch of Pinocchios and maybe one's a real boy, but none of them have really shown it yet. Julian
Yo,
Brandt on the season's been a net positive, but
yeah.
it's not really feeling like it because he has the expectations of being a 20 goal contribution player, and he's not really looking like it. Maybe part of that's Kovac, but I don't know.
I'm still shocked by the whole Pinocchio comment, but what'd you think of what'd you think of JG?
Um, I don't, I don't care. Like the sulking, throwing your hands on the bench, like I
Yeah,
didn't really like it after that
of
74
course.
minutes you got. I didn't like that he was really starting over Bayer.
Hmm.
I really hope that Bayer is starting the next match because his form's been better. I said when Jamie Gittins was flying hot, like he's relying on scoring every single shot, and like he's very good at that. But at a certain point, it will slow down. And you would like a bit more from him. You would like him to go to the byline. He got switched over to the right hand side briefly and showed that he couldn't do it. We got Julian Hetver, I think, back from injury soon from the second team. I don't know if he has a first team certified contract. Cole Campbell is a person. Yo Watson is a
Fact.
person.
Fact.
Julian Duranville actually did impress me. Should we talk about that? Like
Yeah,
Julian Duranville
let's do that.
looked like he had some of the better end product we've seen from him, uh, given that we haven't seen any this season.
He just felt like someone you wanted to pass the ball to. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Someone that would create something, something with a bit of an X factor. I do agree with the whole JG thing. The attitude is bothering me. Um, I, he doesn't do enough on the pitch to actually warrant that reaction. Because if you had, I'm just throwing a name out there. If you have a Suarez and he's pissed, I understand, right? But brother, relax. You haven't done enough. Don't do that, right? But when Durnville comes on, even in past games where he's so exciting to watch and the team like is drawn to him, to like give him the ball, get open, create space for him. He's yeah, I like Durnville.
Yeah, I haven't really seen much from him this season. He is still not even 19.
Hmm.
But this one, to me, this appearance was one of the first times where, like, yes, he didn't have a single key pass, one shot creating action. Um, Even in 16 minutes, like, those were 16 minutes where we were dominating the game. So you would expect some things from that. But, like, his he's always just shown the ability to take players on, but in this match, the balls he played looked like they were good. Like someone could have gotten on the end of them. But the player I want to criticize is Seru Girassi for like how we played because, like I said before, you only have one or two moments in on like fast break situations, transition situations, and when the ball goes to Girassi, like his attitude is not good. It's not. Like in certain ways it is because like I would like my striker to be aggressive, demand the ball in all situations, especially from young wingers that can be selfish at times, and he does that. That's good. But his attitude in terms of going down easily in the box, I don't really like that. It doesn't feel very Borussia Dortmund of him. Like this is a hardworking club that's not necessarily showing that grit. And then there's a situation where he has the ball, defender is close to him. He has Karim Adeyemi by himself in the box, and instead of just like hitting the ball towards the penalty spot as like a little cross in, just trying to get it past the defender, he like lets the ball keep running towards the end line and then tries to take on his defender. But by the time he's taken on the defender, we've gone from a 2-on-1 to like a 2-on-5. And that is just not what I like to see. And there's a couple other instances on like transition situations where he's looking to get on the ball, and I understand why he's desperate to get on the ball because when I played pickup up until recently, if I wasn't touching the ball as a striker, I'd come deeper to try and get on the ball. But when he does it, he's very lethargic in terms of going towards the goal. And in a lot of the moments where he receives the ball, um, and it's in those transition moments, that's not really good because you want to be going fast, 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 especially when you have Kareem Adeyemi and Jamie Gittins, who are fast players, and Maxi Bayer when he's on the pitch. Julian Brandt isn't necessary. Like, he used to be able to run. Now he can't really run as much. And if you look at his take on numbers, like, again, like, that's something that's gone away, and this is the first season that's affected his goal contributions
Hmm.
or his expected, but that's neither here nor there. Like the issue is that we have an attack that has pace in it, and when Garassi touches the ball in transition, it slows everything down and kills the momentum, and that's not good. And then when he does get the ball into good areas, when he is running in behind, not as the ball carrier, but as like a guy receiving through balls, which he's very good at, he has to make the right decision. And there have been multiple times where, like, he's had Kareem Adeyemi, like in this match, and that would have been a difference maker. Don't remember. I think it was still in the first half, and instead he just waits, does a take on. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But like, if he gets that pass off, just like gets it past the defender, Kareem Adeyemi essentially just gets a free hit at Finn Dahmen, and that's kind of what you would want in that situation. I don't know.
100%. I like Seru a lot. In terms of quality, I do agree. I don't like the diving. I understand sometimes you'll force contact, but he's going down without any contact, and that's kind of what bothers. Like if he just feels like a touch, he'll go down and look for it, which I'm not a fan of. But if and maybe this is the La Liga in me, but if you force contact and then you're looking for it, I'm like, hey, you know what? At least like you have something to cling to. Like okay, he hit me, but he's going down without anything, and I don't like that. Now the movement,
Premeditated.
yeah, I his movement I do agree his decision making it takes too long. Like he doesn't know what he's gonna do next. Almost where like he's freestyling most of the things, or
Just
he'll
when
have
he's not shooting. Like if he's shooting, he
yes,
knows. But if
yeah,
he's not shooting, it
yeah.
takes forever.
It's too freestyly. Oh, my camera glitched out. Anyway, it's too freestyly. He's not exactly like I don't know. Like I like him a lot, but I don't know how we're gonna be able to get the best out of him, which is a question I want to ask you, not just out of him, but in terms of moving forward, do we explore a different lineup, a different formation? Because at this point, I don't think like honestly, Champions League might be out of the question. So at this point, you may as well just try things and get ready for the next season. So what are you expecting to see from this point on, not only from Kovac but from the players?
So in terms of the Champions League, let's actually give this a full discussion.
Yeah.
So right now, I think it's like pretty much gone, but like we're not yet in a Europa League situation. So that's kind of your issue where you can't just like try things because you still have to make the Europa League. Because right now we're sitting on 35 points. Fourth is 42. 7 in 9 games is a ton. It would be doable, especially if we don't get uh past Lille. It would be doable, in my opinion, just because of how tumultuous the Bundesliga has been. But last week I said like if we win this game, like we're looking at a point where we essentially our underlying statistics are much better than our situation. How many points is that worth? Like 4 makes it a coin flip. If we won this game, we would have been 4 off fourth. And then you're looking at like we only have 9 games left, but we have to play a couple of the teams ahead of us. Like maybe you get a Leverkusen at the end of the season where Xabi Alonso has left, or the resting players from the Champions League, whatever it may be. You win that game, and all of a sudden, like that's like the difference between you making Champions League or not. But now we have Bayern and Leverkusen left. One of them is going to be out of the Champions League at that point. So they're not going to be resting players. They're going to be trying to secure that second position in the league. They'll comfortably get it. So you have 2 very difficult games left. You're 7 points back. Like, yes, the underlying numbers are slightly better than it's been, but it's not 7 points better. It's nowhere near 7 points better. At this point, I'd rather be like a average team with more points, and we're not that. So should we get 6th? Yes, because there's so many teams above us that are crap. Still, like they're 2 negative XG difference sides above us. That's Mönchengladbach is bad. They're just not good.
Yeah,
And
they're
then you
horrible.
have Leipzig negative XG difference. They should finish in the bottom half. Like they are crap. They do not have enough points where like I would expect them to finish above us because we do get to play them. Uh, and like yes, we have Champions League and they don't, but like they are bad. That is a game that we should win.
hmm
Um,
Well,
especially because their home field advantage isn't crazy.
yeah, come on now. Um, just to build off of what you're saying, I wanna read Emery Chan's quote if you don't mind, because it's kind of similar to what you're saying. He said, "The first half was very lacking in energy. The performance was terrible. We are not a top team. We have to admit that to ourselves. I don't know if we deserve to be in the top 4, not even top 6." So that coming from the captain, like I like the realistic point of view, but if this was like the first time he says something like this, I'd be like, oh damn, like this is serious. But he's been negative for like 8 months. You know what I mean? And I don't know how to read into this because like is it just emotional? Is it he's like there's something that we're not knowing about, or is it just straight up, hey, we're trash? And I say this like obviously with
Every time he speaks, he like misses something that I think would be key to the response.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, he should be saying like we have all the quality. We need to show it on the pitch. We're not
Exactly.
showing it on the pitch. Our
Mm-hmm.
performances have merited it.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't add the like we have the ability. He's saying like, oh, we're shit.
Yeah, he doesn't
And to
soften the
me,
blow.
like, yeah, to me, that's a very negative way of phrasing it. Like, that's not how you progress and get better as a team. Because that's like a very negative attitude, and that's not good. Um, I, I, I don't know when. Like, we talked about it already, so I'm not gonna go back into describing why. But like, our defenders have so little traffic to face this season, and every time like we're still conceding goals, we have the ball a ton. So like, our defenders aren't defending a lot. We have a ton of the ball. Why not play the better passer at at right center back? And like I'm hearing complaints about like, oh, Anton's not been that great either. Anton was playing like half his minutes at left center back while being a right-footed player and playing next to Emre Can in a Nuri Sahin system. Like we need to see Valdemar Anton next to Nico Schlotterbeck, because even if it's a little bit worse defending, which I don't think it will be so much better in build up, because oh, maybe Anton's passing isn't the best. Every time Emre Can looked for Kareem Adeyemi, he overhit the ball by about 20 yards.
God,
And
yeah.
Anton at least can dribble. Like
Mm-hmm.
his dribbling and his short passing has been fine all season. He's had some struggles with long passing, adapting to new teammates, new system, all that, whatever. But like he at least has all of the abilities to put it together. Um, and like even if we get a little bit worse defensively, like he can really help your build up, and get attackers the ball in better positions, less predictable positions, and that's kind of what we need. But let's move on a little bit. We've been talking for a very long time. Ali, who is your star of the week?
Man, I don't even know who to pick. The easy one is Schlotterbeck. Like he's solid week in, week out. He'll have like a bad performance once, I don't know, in a blue moon. He's great. He's mine captain. He's always vocal. He's always looking to push the team forward. I don't really think there's a player above him in the team in terms of consistency and importance at the minute. But yeah, there's a smile on your face. Go ahead.
I just found my star of the week,
Yeah.
and it's a local uh a local lad from the Ruhr Valley, and that's Nicholas Czerny with the hat trick against the Advertisers. I believe there's a little bit of controversy over this match because we shouldn't be giving the advertising youth teams an opportunity to improve, to play against better competition. There's better teams out there. Like this isn't a serious. It's not like we're playing a serious academy. I'm sure we got some money for it, I guess. But we shouldn't really be playing them in a friendly because we should be playing better teams. Maybe they want to hide some of our better players from those better teams for the playoffs at the end of the year. But regardless, our academy player. This is a guy who's been with the team since like I think before the U14s. So he's been with the team for a very long time. He's having his breakout season a la Kielwatian last year. He's more of a number 10 traditionally. I don't know if he has any first team prospects, but he's only like 17, 18, I believe. So yeah, he's 17. I was right. So yeah, 17-year-old can play around in midfield a little bit, can play number 10, can play 8. Similarly to Kiel Watton, I think he's also played on the wing a bit more. So he's more of a 10 in my mind, but yeah, hat trick from him. So he'll be my star of the week as I'm able to get a cop out answer right there. I saw that women played today. I did not catch the result yet, but probably Markart from them as well. She would have a
Yeah,
shout.
you're
Uh,
hilarious. You're hilarious.
anyone from the men's team would not be deserving of me talking
Uh,
about them more positively. Aside from like Kareem Adeyemi, because he's giving it his all on the pitch. Came off at like the 90th minute, looking absolutely exhausted. And this result wasn't on him, but like I don't want
mhm,
to give him a star of the week because his level is very high. But
mhm,
let's go into our dud of the week where I get to be very negative.
mhm.
Ali, you want to start
No,
us off with
you
yours?
start it. You start it. Go for it.
Oh my goodness, give me 1 second. So Gregor Kobel this season has faced 33 post-shot expected goals. He's conceded 35. Borussia Dortmund's other goalkeeper has been dead even on XG. He's a backup. He's only played 180 minutes. I'm not saying he's better than Gregor Kobel, but Gregor Kobel is a problem. The only two teams above us, remember there are 9 teams above us, 7 out of 9 have better post shot expected goals minus goals allowed, whatever. So basically, they're getting better shots. 7 out of the 9 teams above us are getting better shot stopping out of their goalie than we are. We are playing more than every single team except for Bayern. Bayern are paying a ton of money to Manuel Neuer. Manuel Neuer has not played a ton, so like they're two random backups, Urbig and Peretz. Keep in mind, Urbig literally could not start in the second division for Colm this season. Made it like a couple games before being replaced. And so, like, Gregor Kobel has been the most disappointing player in the Bundesliga this season.
Mhm,
Uh, by post shot expected goals, this is a guy who is the second highest paid player in the league in his position, and he is performing in the bottom half of all goalies for shot stopping. Like Finn Dahmen, Augsburg have 2 goalies that are positive by post shot XG. Like there's a lot of goalies that have these issues with their feet and can make saves. If you're not making saves, you have to be good with your feet, a la Manuel Neuer. But Gregor Kobel has not been. So you have a guy who is a negative shot stopper in goal, and he's having issues with his feet. Like that's very easy to replace. Like a goalie is the easiest position I think to replace because they don't have to develop any like they have to develop a little bit of chemistry and communication with the back line, but like beyond that, it's not like you need to learn a ton. Like the ball comes at you, you save it. The ball comes over your head, you jump. He forgot that part this weekend. I was a huge fan of Gregor Kobel. I talked about him very positively last year. His UCL numbers are a bit better than his league numbers, and that's been the case every single season. Which is a positive and a negative in my opinion, because like that allowed us to get to the Champions League final. But to me, that's like, do you have concentration issues? Like, why are you so much better against better competition? Because if you look at like the last 2 seasons in the Champions League, we've had some tougher groups, and yet his numbers are really good against some of the best ball strikers in the world. But on like not it's not even a cold night, on like a nice weather 60 degrees Fahrenheit like afternoon match against Augsburg, all of a sudden like
JT.
he's not maintaining the same level.
Mhm,
So like it's cool that you're stepping up at the highest level, but we also need you 34, 32 match weeks. Like even if he's only to play 30 match weeks, if he's very good for 30 match weeks, like that's very good. Like that's a good goalie. I'd be happy if my backup is only playing 4 games a season in the league, but in this year he's just been quite bad.
No,
Um,
yeah, 100%. He's last year I think we were like in love with him. We were saying, oh,
Yeah,
he's
and
one of
he
the
was
best goalies
playing
in
much
the.
better.
Oh, he was fantastic. Yeah, he was a brick. Man, he or brick wall, I should say, not a brick. Brick just means stupid. But he was a brick wall last season. He's having a hard time, and I think players are allowed to have a hard time, but I think the team should also protect them. And it seems like the coaching staff currently and the previous one has yet to do that. I think um, just getting him rotated out and giving him the time to like build back his confidence is really important. If that's what
I
he
don't think
dropped.
you can drop. I don't think you want to drop him because you want to keep his value high in the transfer market. So you don't want anything coming out about these like this
Mhm.
underlying data, whatever. Like you don't want to. You can't drop him.
Yeah, but you're
And like,
hurting yourself. You know what
well,
I mean?
Alex Meyer, like his sample size is tiny. If you look at like the last time he's had like a good sample size, he's been a pretty big negative, and like
Hmm.
part of the reason I'm being as critical as I am is because of the like he's conceded 2 goals essentially directly from his poor footwork this season.
Hmm.
So that's essentially like a 4 goal swing,
Hmm.
and it's because he's paid so well in a position where like there's multiple teams in the league. Like I mentioned, Augsburg have goalies who have been positive by post shot xG. I believe Wolfsburg also have that. So like you could get that type of performance elsewhere and spend a lot less money. Like
Hmm.
if he wasn't a guy that got extended 2 seasons ago with a big contract, like the expectations would be a lot lower. If this wasn't a guy that was like linked to Chelsea,
Hmm.
uh, there's a lot more you a lot less you might expect.
Yeah, I
But
hear it.
because the expectations are there, um, like you have to perform like it more. Like
For sure.
this is a guy who's capable of so much more. It's not like Julian Brandt is like performing at a good level, well, like a couple years after you would expect his age curve to have started dipping.
Hmm.
Um like I think like you kind of would expect at some point a
Hmm.
guy in his 11th or 12th season as an attacker to lose his ability to take on players. And you've seen that over the last 3 years. And now all of a sudden it's starting to affect his output in terms of goals and assists.
Hmm.
Whereas Gregor Kobel is supposed to be getting better,
Hmm.
um, or at least maintaining a similarly high level. And he's been like quite poor. Not like drop for the backup, but he's not been good.
Yeah, I'm just doing it to like look out for him. Oh, I say I'm doing it as if I'm involved. But like I'm doing it just to look out for him. Like, okay,
Yeah.
don't let these bad running games get to you because if you come out next week and you just hoon it, like it's not gonna help either. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. My dud, so we touched on it earlier, is JG. I don't think his attitude warrants um like the response that he's giving on the pitch and off the pitch. I think he's great in terms of what he's been able to do, but I think defenses have figured him out, and he has yet to develop uh, that side of his game to overcome how they're defending him right now. And when things aren't going his way, he's tough to watch because it's kind of like he's just what's the word? He's just very bothersome. He's always wanting the ball, which is a good thing, but he's annoyed when he doesn't get it. It's like the Cristiano syndrome. Like I really don't like it. Um, and yeah, that's like where I'd give like I can give it to Emery Chan. I can give it to Brandt because like what the hell is he doing? But yeah, like I think in terms of attitude, I didn't like JG's attitude.
That's fair. I think like cameras are on. I think he might just be maybe he's more pissed about like the result, whatever.
Hmm.
Um, he is still young. I was a little critical, uh, but yeah, I think dud of the week for me, my second,
Hmm.
might have gone elsewhere, but
No man,
maybe a little
attitude.
Nico Kovac. I don't know.
Already,
But
he's already getting a shout. He just came in.
I mean, like, I
No,
don't
I
think
agree.
it's
I
like
agree. I
purely
agree.
his fault, but like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can take more risks. You can be a little braver and
yeah.
bench the captain. Um,
Ooh, question. Sorry, it just popped in
yeah,
my head. I don't know if we talked about this before, but
yeah.
thoughts on playing Gross as a center back? How
Is
bad
that
is that?
serious?
Yeah, I'm being so dead ass. Because at this point, you may as well try
Um,
something. Because he's not playing Anton, or he's not confident in Anton yet, I should say. Emery Chan is a shaky warrior. I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm just saying, what do you think?
no, like I think this is
No.
like absolutely not. There's a simple answer here, and it's to
Yeah.
start the guy who we bought at the peak of his powers at
Mm-hmm.
27. I think now he's 28. For 25 million, he's getting
Mm-hmm.
paid not nothing to be here,
Mm-hmm.
and I think like just do that. Like
I
just
I
do the
agree. I agree.
make the
But
obvious choice. Like
mm-hmm.
our center backs are not defending much. They get like 2 or 3 chances to mess up
Mm-hmm.
like per game,
Mm-hmm.
and somehow, like not in this one, but in so many like against the ball. I mean,
Yeah, of course I understand.
not like Emerson didn't mess up in this one, but like 2 to 3 chances a game to mess up, and he is somehow. Actually, I think he did mess up once against the ball. So like, see, every game he finds an opportunity to mess up, and he only has like 1 or 2 like chances to mess up. And like, granted, he's being asked to defend a lot of space, but there've been 2 or 3 times where he gets beat in the space, and then all of a sudden it's Nico Schlotterbeck with a game-saving tackle in
Yeah,
the open
last
field.
ditch. Yeah, he has to run
Uh,
like 30 yards just to make it. Somehow gets it out, and I'm
yeah,
like, oh, what a guy. But
exactly.
I was just suggesting it because, like I said, we haven't seen the confidence in Anton yet. Zula is, it's worrying to play him because you don't know if he's gonna pull a muscle in his neck. Like we don't know what's gonna, well, because he keeps getting hurt. That's the only thing.
I
But
mean, my conspiracy theory would be like we heard the rumor that Niko Kovac was really impressed with Nicolas Sula
mhm,
when he returned from fitness. Nicolas Sula, I believe, worked with Kovac when he was at Bayern.
mhm,
I think that Niko Kovac is like Sula, Schlotterbeck, like they almost won the title together. Like
mhm,
Sula's not past it.
mhm,
He's had one like big injury this season,
mhm.
and that was because he got played coming back from like a fairly minor
Yeah,
injury,
yeah.
immediately. And so like I think he's thinking, I know this guy. I've seen this pair work well,
Mhm,
and that's gonna give me the best chance I have at finishing top 4. I said early in the season, like I'd prefer to see Anton and Schlotterbeck play together at every opportunity because like that is what I think like the longer term duo would be. I think that's the plan. But short term, like Nico Schlotterbeck and Nicolas Sula would probably be our best center back duo. And at this point, like just getting us into Europe, like I fully understand it. I don't know why it hasn't happened yet. I think that's coming from not Nico Kovac because I don't know why you would hear that quote like, "Oh, Nicolas Sula looks great," and then all of a sudden he's playing it right back like the next game. And I think he wanted to drop Emre Can and was not allowed. But
ooh, mm. We're being
like
conspiracious. We're
yeah, I don't
conspiring.
know.
That's the word.
I don't know
Sorry.
who it's coming from, but I think that's coming from someone
The W man?
affiliated with like the board,
W man?
essentially. Like it could be Vatska, it could be
Yeah.
Sammer, it could be Kale, like it could be any one of these guys
Mm-hmm.
or some combination. Like Kale could be going along with it, but it could be coming from like Vatska and Sammer.
No
It could be
doubt.
coming from Rickon. It could like I
Mm-hmm.
don't know who. Maybe they're all in agreement about it.
It's true.
Maybe
No, it's
I'm
true.
like just being a conspiratorialist. I don't know, but
Ooh, big word. Nice. I like that one.
thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
But let's
All
move
right.
on
Let's
to
move on. Yeah.
the next story, and it's Yusufa Mukoko. Nice not exercising the buy clause. French journalist, excuse me, can't pronounce
Sorry,
that one
sorry.
after conspiratorialist. Announcer Jake from Ali, all his fault. So Leandra Iacono on Yusufa Mukoko stated, OGC Nice has not yet made an official statement, but there is no doubt that the buy option will not be exercised. To this, I said no shit. When I saw it, I told you this in the summer. I don't know why. Buy options only exist for the buying club because
Mm-hmm.
you reject it and all of a sudden the value of the player goes down. You pay for it. It's because the player was so good. So I really don't get it. They loaned in um, Muhammad Ali Cho from Sociedad, I believe, out of their academy. They've preferred him. The last time I like looked at Ali Cho's numbers, they were like pretty similar to Mukoko's. Mukoko has like 3 goal contributions and like 200 minutes in the league. So like his numbers are incredibly silly, but like the sample size is so small, even compared to what he was doing at Dortmund. Had he been at Dortmund, he honestly would have gotten more minutes because I think him playing at the 10 would have been better than some of the stuff we've witnessed this year. What do you think about this, Aldi?
I'm kind of over him, to be honest. I think there was a time where I really wanted him to stay and to develop, and I think I even said in a like long ago in some episode that like I think that he should stay because even if things aren't looking um, clear for him now, there's always an opportunity. But I'm kind of over it. I think when he comes back, he's gonna get sold to whatever club wants him or whatever whatever deal they can get for him, because they like it's the same board that he had a problem with prior to, right? So he's gonna leave, and
I think
like I
he
said,
wants an opportunity to play. I think there's very much a realistic world where, like,
hmm
maybe next season, instead of buying, like, retooling our whole midfield, maybe it's cheaper. They want to sign, like, 2 more center backs,
hmm
because Emre Can's contract will expire the following season, following next season. And, like, that allows you to play him as, like, a third option with, uh, Bayer and Garasi, like maybe you do that for a season because that would give you flexibility the next summer.
hmm
Sula would be off the books. Um, Sean would be off the books at that point,
hmm
and so you don't have to worry about getting stuck with like a 3-5-2 for the rest of our lives. Um, so like there are weird things you could do like that, and that would give him a very real chance in the team. But I think that maybe he sees that it's going to be a little bit harder. Maybe he's willing to like uh go out on a straight loan and sign like that 1 year extension or club option, whatever it would be. um and then if he like succeeds, we can sell him on or reintegrate him into the team. He's still only 20, and I
hmm
think with some of these shorter strikers, it can take them a bit longer to get ready for the senior game. Like if you look at oh my god, Apenda, who I don't think is like the best player ever, but like is a
I
good top flight striker.
I don't
Um,
like him, but yeah, sure,
yeah, I mean, like he can get you fourth in the Bundesliga consistently. Like that's his
sure,
level.
yeah, I guess.
Although not this year.
Yeah.
No,
Haha.
that's the rest of their squad is just dreadful. But
Yeah, I think he's so
sorry.
bad, but yeah, keep going. I keep going.
I mean, he's like this is a guy with like 4 seasons scoring like 20 goals, right?
hmm
So I think like, or you could talk about like Mauro Icardi. Like these guys, like yeah, they've had good careers. They've been 5'9". Mukoko listed 5'9". Like they didn't really start to tear it up until they were a couple years older than some of these guys breaking out as children.
hmm
Like even Neymar was like a little bit taller.
hmm
Messi developed like slightly later for a player that went on to be as good as he did.
hmm
Um, so yeah, like I think there's time for him to be a good player.
For sure.
He needs to find minutes because
Yeah,
you don't
no,
want to be Gio Reyna, turn 22, 23, and
Gio
never
Reyna.
have played 2,000 league minutes. Like that's not how you become a great player.
Exactly. So and um like that's kind of why I said I feel like I'm over it because I don't think he's gonna get his chance here. because he had problems with whoever prior. I can't remember the full story now, but I think he should just go. Like, I think in Italy, he'd do amazing. You know what I mean? Like in against low blocks, um, countering things like that. I think he'd do phenomenally there. So I think maybe think about that if I were him. If he wants to come back and if Kovac wants him, it presents him with an idea like, hey, this is where I want you, blah blah blah. Cool, I'm all for it, but I'm also over it. Where I'm like, hey, whatever. Like if he goes, cool. If he stays, cool.
I mean, maybe Troy Parrott goes from AZ to Feyenoord to replace Santi Jimenez. You straight loan Mukoko there for a year. He gets a trillion minutes and
Mm-hmm.
like starts to look like he's the player that we were promised when he was 16.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, whatever.
Hey man, tall strikers take time too. You know what I'm saying? Look at Isak. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, like 23 is like the typical breakout age, but like
Mm-hmm.
you can see some more guys like break out
No,
younger when
100%.
they're
Yeah, yeah.
taller. But yeah, like you're saying, that is the common thing. But let's give a shout out to our fantasy league winners because I think Ali and I at this point are like kind of over it talking about such a terrible, terrible team.
Oh man.
So holding on to the top spot for the third straight week, it's Ryu Sanugi, Edward DC4 embarrassingly in second, Pints of Bayer in third, FC Chico '09 in fourth, VSA Germans rounds out the top five, and then we got a pack of about four clubs four within 1,000 points, and that includes yours truly. So I'm right up there. I'm a ball knower, I swear.
Yo,
Anyway,
balls. Sorry. That was
What?
too easy. It was too easy.
watch your mouth.
Oh man, yeah, man. No,
I'm
it's dope.
texting Brian. You're not getting scheduled on the podcast again for a year. Anyway, is there anything you want to plug before we head out?
Blue Sky. That's what we need to plug. We need to plug Blue Sky because we are exclusively on there in terms of updates to our podcast. We're also on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We are on all streaming platforms. So check us out on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Give us a rating, like, subscribe, all that stuff. We really appreciate the support. We've seen growth and we love it, and we hope to keep entertaining you guys, even if the season is not.
We have so much planned for this summer,
Yeah.
so stay tuned. So much content dropping.
Oh yeah. Just
So much.
Just you wait.
You're gonna be even more tired of my voice than you already are after the last hour and however long it's been.
Oh man.
Anyway, that'll do it for us. Have a good one.